The federal government's promised budget surplus is at risk. The soaring Australian dollar is eating into revenue, but the government says it's still on track to turn the budget around in 3 years. And while both sides of politics are united in bashing the banks, a major retailer has also attacked the recent interest rate hikes, saying they'll ruin Christmas. From Canberra, Stephanie Kennedy reports.
In a new twist to Charles Dickens' Christmas tale, the banks with their big profits and interest rate hikes have been likened to Scrooge, cold-hearted and greedy.
The people that haven't had a tough year, of course, the banks, because they've also added to that interest rate rise by lining their pockets as well, and that's going to make it even more difficult. So not only get the Reserve Bank rate, but you also get increase from the banks. That makes it really difficult for our average person to come into the store and just be able to put some Christmas presents under the tree.
The banks aren't alone in threatening this year's Christmas cheer. The soaring Australian dollar is taking its toll on the government's bottom line. It's now 15 cents higher than when the May budget was handed down.
Companies with less profits are able to pay less taxes, so we'll have an implication for our tax revenue.
And that includes less revenue from the new mining tax. It'll now fall short of the $10.5 billion forecast. The government refuses to say just how big the hole is in the Treasury's coffers, but it will be detailed in the mid-year economic review expected next week. One thing the government will say is that it's still committed to its core election promise, bringing the budget into surplus. But some economists aren't optimistic the government can deliver on its pledge.
Because we've set this line in the sand of surplus in 2012-13, that is under threat.
The coalition is demanding the government produce a mini-budget, detailing how it now plans to put the budget back in the black.
The long-standing, non-negotiable so-called surplus that has been promised now for months and months, and particularly before the election, turns out to be a phony.
The surging dollar is taking the pressure off interest rates, at least in the short term. In the Reserve Bank's latest statement on monetary policy, the RBA has cut its inflation forecast to 2.5% until the middle of next year.
I don't think it changes the basic picture. No rate rise ahead of Christmas, but chances are, yes, rate rises next year.
But as the Commonwealth has shown, the banks can still spoil this year's Christmas party on their own. Stephanie Kennedy, ABC News, Canberra.